What's up, guys? Ian here, coach of your Ladner Lanturn, bringing you guys our Week 11 team builder in NCL Season 4, taking on Mortal and the Philadelphia Pichus. It's been a while since we played Mortal on a recorded match. His team consists of Landers Incarnate, which is allowed to use Sheer Force. I don't know why he would ever run Sand Force with it. Eternal Floette, Araquanid, Shaman, Moltres, Crustal, Mega Gallade, Jirachi, Haxorus, Electros, and Exploud. Priority options is solely Mega Gallade with Shadow Sneak. Hazard setting, he's got the Lando with rocks, Arachnid with webs, Crustal with rocks and spikes, and Jirachi with rocks. Removal options, Lando with defog, Moltres with defog. I don't think it's likely that he brings defog at all, so I think rocks are going to stay up on his side of the field pretty quickly here. 4 times weaknesses, the Lando to ice and the Moltres to rock. One thing about Mortal Season, and this happened in NCL Season 1 as well, he's become very predictable with the Pokemon that he's going to bring. Just to break it down a little bit for you here, we're done week 10 now when I'm recording this. Exploud has not come to a single game. Haxorus has only come twice. Crustal's only come twice. Moltres has come once. And Electros has come 4 times. But Mega Gallade, Eternal Floette, Araquanid have come to every single game. Lando Eye's only missed 1 game, and Jirachi's only missed 1 game. So that's what I'm prepping for, is that core of 5 is the main thing that I'm prepping for. Oh, Shaman's come 3 times. So it's like interchangeable in the last spot between like Shaman, Electros most of the time, and so I spent most of my time prepping for those 5. I really want to, I have no reason to try, obviously, except that I want to eliminate Mortal from playoffs, because I don't want him coming into playoffs with this roster and that mindset. So that's what we're going off of. Notable things, his speed tiers are kind of bad in a sense that 110 is the fastest that he's got and nothing above that. Again, mons like Araquanid don't really run speed. He's been Scarf Jirachi every single time. He's been Specs Floette every single time. He's been Life Orb Lando every single time. And he's been SD Mega Gallade every single time. So, those are all things, obviously, to keep in mind. The couple times he's brought Haxorus, it's been Z. He brought it Poison Z, the one build that he made, and then I'm pretty sure he just copied it over. I'm not worried at all about Exploud because I know it's not coming, but also because Bronzong can wall it with the build that I have. This Bronzong set, we'll start with Bronzong. It hard walls Lando, unless the Lando's got knockoff, and then he's taking Life Orb Recoil, so that's fine. It can hardwall the Floette as well, so its main job is to take on the special attackers. Gyre Ball will do a fat chunk of damage to pretty much anything. Psywave is really good damage to everything because he doesn't have a dark type, so he's got no Psywave immunities. Rocks are just really important if the Moltres does come, and it's just good chip against things like Araquanid if they want to come in too. HP Ice is a 2-shot against the Lando. Fully Sped F Bronzong. Vaporeon, Fizdef with Roar for a setup variant of Haxorus or Gallade if they do show up, or a setup variant of Crustal potentially. This is my main way to deal with the Araquanid, so I can get a Toxic on it and then just scald it to death as I wish up, wish up, wish up, wish up. Obviously, he can't Liquidation me because I'm Water Absorb. He's brought Sash Araquanid a couple times. He designed it to take on a Volcarona and Revenge Kill Volcarona. I'm not sure if it'll come again, but I'm going to have to get a little bit of chip on it if I want to be able to kill that Araquanid. Talonflame, I'm bringing physically defensive Talonflame with Rocky Helmet Flame Body. I've got enough speed on here to outrun Mega Gallade, which is the fastest mon on his team, and this is my main Mega Gallade check. It's also a very good Jirachi check. I chew Iron Heads. I chew Iron Heads. This is my defogger. I can defog on pretty much anything bar Scarf Jirachi because it might flinch me to death still. U-turn for some momentum, Roost to keep myself healthy, and Flamethrower is the last move. Flamethrower will hit everything pretty decently, everything that I would need to. I can always Toxic the Haxorus with Vaporeon, and I can just U-turn out on the Haxorus. It's mainly there for a Scarf Jirachi and a Gallade, like I mentioned. So getting burns on those would be great. I wanted to run Will-O-Wisp, then I changed it to Toxic, and then I changed it to U-turn as per Evan's suggestion. I don't really need Will-O-Wisp when I've got Flame Body anyways. Solid chance that those things will get burnt regardless, and that's sort of the idea behind the Talonflame set. Diancie is just really offensive with Earth Power, Diamond Storm, Moonblast, and Sub. So I thought about a Sub Endeavor set, but Sub is actually really effective against a lot of stuff here. And if Jirachi is going to have to take damage to break my sub, then I'm okay with that. If we find out that it's a defensive version of Jirachi, then it's definitely going to be a lot more of a pain to handle, but Talonflame should be able to wear it down easier if it does end up being a defensive Jirachi rather than the Scarf. Otherwise, if it's Scarf and he has to waste a turn breaking my sub, I can always get Earth Power chip off, and Earth Power is going to do a crap load to the Jirachi. Should do over 50%, I'd imagine, to a Scarf Jirachi, and then I can just pivot directly into my Talonflame. Otherwise, sub frees up a lot of space for me to, like, basically anything I threaten out, i.e. Haxorus. I probably threaten the Gallade. I can probably sub on the Gallade. It's not really worth his time to try and speed time me. I'm a minus defense nature just because I don't think I can sub up on things like Lando Eye or Floette anyways, or Shaman for that matter. So the minus spit F nature to be able to sub up on a Haxorus or a Gallade. Moonblast will demolish both of those. It should just destroy them. Diamond Storm is mainly there for the Moltres, but it'll do more than Power Gem will to the Arachne as well. And so that's the idea there. The Crustal there too. There's not a lot of rock resist on this team. It's Gallade, Jirachi are the rock resist. So Diamond Storm's pretty spammable as well as Moonblast. Banded Hoopa is pretty clutch here. I'm running enough speed for something. Exploud. So if Exploud does show up for whatever reason, I'm outspeeding it by 1 point and I'm banded. Banded Hyperspace Fury picks off a lot of mons on this team, bar Floette. I'm not sure what really wants to switch into it, if I'm being completely honest. If I can chip the Arachnid, I should just be able to OHKO it with Hoopa, and he would likely stay in to try and Leech Life me. Webs is an annoying problem for this Hoopa, as well as the Garchomp in the back, which is why I'm kind of relying on Helmet here from the Talonflame, and defogging the webs away. But yeah, like Dual Stab is pretty good against most of this team, and then I've got Gunk Shot on there as security against the Floette if I really need to. Hoopa's a pretty expendable member of the team this week. He's got a few mons that threaten it. Jirachi's going to threaten it with U-turn every time. Lando's going to threaten it with U-turn. Arachnid's going to threaten it with Leech Life right off the bat. But I might be able to take on something like a Shaman decently well, just with my natural Spit F bulk. It should be okay. Same with Moltres, although Moltres can threaten me with U-turn as well. And I'm not sure about anything else, but I might be able to tank a hit from Exploud just because of my natural bulk. I've got Trick on there in case I can get rid of my band onto the Floette. I don't need the choice band because I'm adamant, and Floette really does not appreciate a choice band if I take its choice specs. Garchomp, Scarf Chomp, this is my foolproof way of outspeeding the Scarf Jirachi, and I'm just running 4 attacks Scarf Chomp because I have rocks in my Bronzong. EQ for the Jirachi, and it's really spammable later in the game because I don't think Arachnid lives that long against my team. I don't think Moltres lives that long against my team, but it's mainly just there for the Jirachi. It'll also be my best way of hitting the Gallade. He does have quite a few ground immunities, but that's just sort of what I thought of there. Aqua Tail is there for the Lando if I really have to go with that route. Or if the Moltres switches into EQ as well, that can be an option. Same with the Electros. Rock Slide is there mainly for the Moltres, but also for the Arachnid in a pinch. And then Dragon Claw is just there as a stab option later on. Or if I need to revenge kill a +1 Haxorus, I'd rather click Dragon Claw against that. I am outspeeding Jirachi with this speed investment. Max attack, a little bit of HP. In terms of what I'm not bringing, Buzzwole is very threatened by Floette, Moltres, Shaman, Jirachi, Gallade, Lando. There's Exploud. There's a lot that really threatens Buzzwole here. I'm not a huge fan of that. If Eel comes, it's going to be a gigantic problem for the Hoopa, and I really have to be careful about how I deal with the Eel. I think I'm probably going to have to let Garchomp get weakened, but I have to be really careful about HP Ice. So I think actually Electros is the biggest problem on the team that I don't have directly covered with mine. I'm hoping that maybe Bronzong can just get some Psywave chip off on it, maybe. Or maybe it's not strong enough to be able to break through my Vaporeon, that's another thing. And I can deal with that. Or maybe it's not strong enough to break through my Talonflame, also another thing that could be a thing there. Or if I can just pivot into Diancie for free on it, then I don't think he can kill the Diancie, unless he's got steel coverage. And Diancie should be able to two-shot an Assault Vest variant with Diamond Storm, or if we find out it's physically defensive, then Diamond Storm into Moonblast should always kill it. Okay, Amoonguss, again, pretty much the same things that threaten Buzzwole, threaten Amoonguss. Obviously, the Shaman's going to have to run like Air Slash for both of them if it wants to come like that. But mainly for Amoonguss, it's the Gallade and the Jirachi. Doesn't help that he's run Psychic Eternal Floette for the poisons every single time. It doesn't help that Lando, it's not a ground resist, and so Lando just demolishes it with Earth Power. Rotom Frost, I didn't really even consider bringing. It kind of is okay here. It's not horrible. Just trying to not lose to the Jirachi, which is a lot of the mons that I'm not bringing kind of just lose to Jirachi. Masquerain, I thought about. I don't really need webs to counteract the webs. Masquerain's kind of a bad pick here in my mind, just because a lot of stuff will just OHKO it outright. And it doesn't really lead all that well against something like Arachnid anyways. And then Starmie I thought about bringing for spin, but it's one of those mons that just, it doesn't pack the punch that I need it to this week. Spin support isn't all that necessary when I have a defogger. And the typing that it has loses to a few other mons, so it just basically outright loses to Arachnid, first off. It pretty much loses to Shaman. It pretty much loses to Jirachi, just because of Jirachi's coverage options. It kind of loses to Gallade as well. Really have to hope for a burn against those. There's a lot of problems with Starmie in this matchup for me. So that's it. Really quick team builder on my end. One of my quicker ones ever. Not a whole lot to explain here. Again, I have nothing to play for. I'm just waiting for playoffs at this point. But I can eliminate Mortal if he loses here, and so I'd like to eliminate Mortal. That's going to be for me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys for the match.